you sure you want to go through with this? You don't have to, you know. Daddy said so.
Don't you want me to remember? Don't you want me to remember how we met? The time we spent together, our wedding day.
Yes, I do want you to remember all that. But it's after our time together that I'm worried about. Who you met, what you did, where you went. For all I know, there might even be another wife.
You think I'm a bigamist?
Well, maybe you just never considered our marriage really legal. After all, it was just a ceremony and the signing of a paper.
Emily, I don't see how I could have married anybody else. Where was I ever going to find anybody as pretty as you are?
I'm using a solution of thiopental sodium with anhydrous sodium carbonate as a base.
I still think it's the wrong thing to do, Neil.
Don't you want him to recover his memory, Leo? He's your son-in-law, whether you like it or not. Or are you afraid of something you might find out? Some dark patches in his past history?
Kirk's past is as much a blank to me as it is to him.
He wants the blanks filled in, and the patient comes first. Or so an old medical associate of mine used to say. A Dr. Galt, as I recall. I'm ready to begin. Would you bring the patient in, please? There we are. Now it'll take a few minutes for the serum to take effect. We'll try to create as restful an atmosphere as possible. Feeling relaxed?
No. Something tells me that Dr. Galt and Emily weren't too pleased about this whole thing.
That's one of the reasons I asked them to wait outside. We don't need their negative aura here, do we? Besides, as little distraction as possible is best. You feeling drowsy?
A little.
All right, let's do a backward count. I'll start at 100 and count backward. Go ahead.
100, 99, 98, 97. I never could figure out what these things were supposed to do.
Well, it actually doesn't do anything at all. It just tells me where you are. Continue counting.
97, 96, 95, 97, 96.
That's fine. That's just fine. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm so sleepy.
You're awake, you know. You're perfectly awake. All the drug has done was to relax you so as to free your mind from whatever restrictions it's imposed upon itself. You see, you might have built up a strong wall of resistance around your memory, and the drug is like the trumpets of Joshua, blowing down the walls. Okay, let's begin.
Hi.
April. Hello.
Hi.
Why don't we go into my office?
Place looks haunted, doesn't it? It's kind of funny. I never thought about offices being haunted. I just thought houses were haunted.
There are no ghosts here, April. Just memories. Good memories. Your husband did a very big job in this small office.
Yeah. I guess he didn't want to take this to prison with him. Just a number there anyway.
Draper never could have been just a number.
I guess there's some consolation there, huh? He never was issued a number, never even had to spend a night in prison.
All those documents I want to talk to you about are in my office. Let's go.
It's just that it's so empty in here now, Mike. What happened to all of Draper's files?
Actually, most of them are still here.
Of course. The new occupant of this office will need them. Well, I'm ready for work.
Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
I'm glad you could come downtown, although I could have brought all this home with me.
Oh, no, I think it's a much better idea to do legal things in a legal place. Besides, it gave me impetus to get out of the house. Is that my file?
Believe it or not, that's only part of it. Even though Margo's will was simple, her estate is very complex. It may be months before we can straighten out your inheritance.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Well, in the meantime, you're going to need money to live on, so I opened an account for you at the bank using the cash proceeds from Margo's liquid assets.
Well, thank you. Mike, what was it you started to tell me last night about Elliott Dorn?
Well, that's the most troublesome part of this whole thing, actually.
Why? I thought you said Margo's will made it quite clear that he was completely cut out.
Oh, she did that, all right. She changed her will within 24 hours of their breakup, and she made certain that he couldn't contest it.
Oh, I see. Are you afraid that he will contest it?
No, I don't think so. I'm sure the will breeze through probate court just as it stands. However, there was one small detail that Margo failed to tell me about.
What was that?
It was a document that her previous attorney had drawn up, giving Elliott Dorn full title to the unicorn.
Oh, Mike, I know all about that, but she didn't really give it to him. She just let him run the place.
Oh, she gave it to him, all right. But she made sure that she could take it back whenever she felt like it.
Well, that's exactly what she did. I mean, she told me so herself after she found out the type of person that Elliott was.
I'm sure Margo meant to take the title back. But unfortunately, she neglected to do so legally.
What?
Apparently, it was an oversight. I guess there was so much on her mind at the time. But the unicorn still belongs to Elliott Dorn. Excuse me. Yes, Anna. He's here now? Well, you might as well ask him to come in. I had already informed Elliott of the situation, and apparently he's here to collect his property.
Mr. Karr, isn't it Oh, April. Well, we meet again, under happier circumstances.
Sorry, Elliott, but I don't consider these circumstances happy at all.
Oh, April, I didn't mean to imply that there was anything pleasant about discussing poor Margo's estate. How are you?
Mr. Dorn?
Elliott, Mike has already informed me about the unicorn, and I'm sure you find that news very pleasant.
Yes, isn't it remarkable? When I heard the news, I was flabbergasted. But most of all, I was touched. Deeply touched.
Why?
Well, don't you see? It means that there was a legacy from my wife. It means that Margo didn't cut me out of her life completely.
I think you misunderstood what I told you, Elliott. Apparently, it was an oversight.
No, Mike, I don't believe it. I believe that Margo never meant to take away the ownership of the unicorn. I think she knew how hard I worked to earn the title of the place.
Earn it? Earn it how? By prancing around in a $500 tuxedo that Margo had also bought?
I pranced very hard to make the unicorn profitable, April.
I don't believe this. Mike, this is not right, and it's not fair, and I'm sure even Elliott can see that.
I'm afraid, Mike, that I see nothing of the kind.
Why would my mother want to give you anything? She loathed you, Elliott Dorn. She loathed you, and she never even wanted to see you again.
April, you are still so very young. Women often say things like that, didn't you know? Their lips don't always say what their heart really feels.
Is that so? Well, listen to these lips. Mike, I want to take it to court.
No, April, darling.
Don't you dare talk to me like that. We can fight it, can't we?
We could contest the document, April, but frankly, I wouldn't recommend it.
There you see, Mike agrees with me.
No, Elliott, I don't agree with you. I think Margo made a mistake. But at this point, it's impossible to prove what her real intentions were, so I think we should just let the matter drop.
What do you can't just let it... I mean, just give him the club. Give it to him just like that.
April, it might prove to be more of a liability than an asset.
Not if he turns around and decides to sell it, Mike. Look, it's not that I want to own the stupid club. It has nothing to do with that.
No? Why not? You already have the penthouse and a lot of the other goodies my wife left you.
Your wife. My God, you are pleased with yourself, aren't you, Elliott?
Let's just say that I'm pleased with Margo. You see, even if my wife did forget to cancel this piece of paper, I believe it's her unconscious desire to forget. That deep down, in her heart of hearts, she really cared for me. I hope you don't mind.
But I do mind. Mike, are you sure there's nothing we can do?
I'm afraid not, April. Elliott, this is yours, and so is the unicorn. I hope you'll have better luck with it this time.
Thank you. Thank you both. Oh, and I do expect you at the opening night of my club, both of you.
It's wrong, Mike. The whole thing is just so wrong.
I mean it, Nicole. I don't know when I've seen you looking better. The only word that comes to mind is radiant.
Radiant?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's the word they use to describe brides, isn't it?
Hmm.
Well, maybe that explains it.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's the way I'm feeling. Almost as if Miles and I were newlyweds again.
Oh, what a wonderful way to feel.
To the past few weeks and all the awful things that have happened, at least something good has come of it. Miles and I have sort of rediscovered each other. Just isn't any other way to put it.
Is that drug out of his system entirely?
Yes, yes, I think so. And that's part of it, but it just isn't everything. We're both experiencing a kind of rebirth of feelings for each other. And I'm so happy. And the happier I feel about my marriage and my life, the guiltier I feel about April.
It's not unusual, Nicole. I think that anyone who feels happy can't help but feel a little guilty when they think of April, because right now, happiness isn't part of her life.
I wonder if she'll ever be happy again.
I think so. I think so, because she has that little baby to take care of.
She probably won't have time to be depressed if I remember my newborn babies right.
And you should. How old is Adam now?
Almost 4.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh, time is going so quickly. You're going to be thinking of nursery school soon.
Oh, I am already.
Hmm?
Oh, yes. It's going to be much easier than having Mrs. Goodman around all the time, and besides, I think he's going to be much happier having other children to play with.
I think you're right.
Probably be much happier having another child around the house, too.
Is that a hint of something?
No.
Oh.
No. Although, Miles and I did start to talk about it before he became ill. Now that he's well again, he just may find that subject back on his agenda.
Well, as you said, little Adam probably would be very happy to have a little brother or sister.
Well, that wouldn't be the only reason. I'd kind of like to see what kind of offspring Miles would produce. Probably another brilliant medical type, a Marie Curie or a Jonas Salk.
Well, since you are both doing so well right now, I suppose now is the time to talk about it again.
Yes, but I have to find the right moment. You know, Miles, his work always comes first, and he's working twice as hard. He's back in harness at police headquarters as well as his private practice.
Of course, it would interrupt your career.
Oh, I don't know. I do my work sitting down, remember? I wouldn't let motherhood interrupt anything.
Oh, okay. All right. Good for you.
Besides, if it did happen, I'd be so excited I'd announce it on WMON 6 o'clock news.
Terrific. We can use some good news now.
You know, There'll be good news in April's life, too, sooner or later. I'm sure of it.
That may be some ways away.
Yes, but the future has a way of arriving, doesn't it? As hard as it is to imagine now, there may be a day that April will remarry.
Easy now. Just take it easy. Try to answer my questions.
It's not true.
What's not true? Where are you? What do you see?
I told him. I said, it's not right. It's not fair. I said I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it.
And now listen. You've got to answer my question now. What do you see? What do you hear?
See, hear, voir dire.
What did you say?
True. It's the truth. I told them. I said it's true. I told the truth. They didn't believe me. God, why doesn't somebody believe me?
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
No, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. No, please, don't. Please stop it. Take them off. Please. Take them off. They're burning me. They're burning me.
Come over here. Come on, I'm waiting for you. Come on, honey, I'm over here. Come on.
It's you.
Yes, Kirk, it's Emily. There's never been anyone but me. Don't you know that? I'm the only one who can set you free.
What are you doing now? What are you thinking about?
Oh, free. I'm free.
Free from what? Can't you tell me? Don't you know? Listen, I want you to open your eyes. That's right, open your eyes now. That's right, now look at me. Look at me. Now tell it to me.
Can't. I don't know.
You remember nothing? Nothing about what you thought or heard or saw?
Nothing.
Not a face, a name?
A name.
What name? Is it yours?
Kirk. Kirk.
Is that your name?
Kirk Michaels.
Emily, you have to be prepared for almost anything. If Dr. Wellman succeeds in bringing back Kirk's memory, well, you just don't know. Well, Neil?
I think I'd have to call the experiment a failure.
You mean Kirk remembered nothing about his past, nothing at all?
Not enough to make any conclusive judgments. I was shocked by the amount of pain the drug produced.
pain. I thought you said it wasn't going to be painful.
Not the sodium pentothal itself, but the feelings it released in him. Whatever he went through in his recent past, it was a terrible experience.
But you have no idea what?
Well, I don't think that merely the concussion was the cause of the amnesia. See, I think it was both physical and emotional, a dual traumatic event. I think that the concussion merely gave his mind the excuse to forget something that was much too painful to remember. Emily, I'm sorry. I know you want your husband to know you.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Kirk and I can make a new life for ourselves. We'll be together.